Today's tutorial will be about the newest Sovereign of the Abyss, Obsidia. In addition to having impressive mobility in her kit, Obsidia boasts one of the most devastating late games among all marksmen. And it doesn't stop there. Her ultimate can literally disable certain heroes. Since she is a newly released hero, many players still don't feel confident using her. But don't worry. In this video, I'll explain in detail how her passive and abilities work, present an exceptional combo to obliterate your enemies, and in the end, share some builds and tips so you can carry your matches with this true killing machine. Passive. When dealing damage to enemies, Obsidia accumulates bone energy, displayed in a bar right below her HP. The amount gained varies depending on the situation. Basic attacks against non-hero units grant 1 stack, against heroes grant 2, while using skills triples the stacks obtained. When the bar reaches 30 stacks, Obsidia gains 1 bone shard, up to a maximum of 25. And the best part is that these shards are permanent. Another way to obtain shards is by eliminating enemy heroes, which immediately grants 1 shard without needing to stack. Each time Obsidia performs a basic attack, all shards are launched at the target, each one dealing 7% of total physical attack and inheriting 7% of on-hit effects. Early in the match, this effect may seem minor, but in the late game it becomes decisive. Skill 1. Obsidia fires a bone needle in a straight line, dealing damage to all enemies in its path. This skill is excellent for generating stacks quickly, especially when used against multiple enemies at once. However, even if it hits several targets, the shards will always strike only the first enemy reached. Despite this limitation, the skill remains highly efficient. Skill 2. When activated, Obsidia gains 500% movement speed for 0.3 seconds. The effect is so fast it looks like a dash, but in reality, it's just a sudden burst of speed. It's a simple ability, yet extremely useful in various situations. Ultimate. Obsidia hurls a bone hook in a designated direction. It has long range, and upon hitting an enemy, they suffer a brief stun while Obsidia is pulled toward them, remaining connected within a circular area for 3 seconds. During this period, the enemy cannot use certain escape skills, such as dashes, although they can still move, dragging Obsidia along. In this state, she can pass through obstacles and continue performing basic attacks as usual. Additionally, her Skill 2 is enhanced, increasing its duration to 1 second and reducing its cooldown by 33%. If necessary, the ultimate can be manually cancelled. While it isn't equally effective against all heroes, against characters heavily reliant on mobility, such as Benedetta, it can become a devastating weapon as it practically neutralizes their entire kit. Combo. Obsidia is a simple mechanics hero and doesn't rely on complex combinations, but she still has an easy-to-execute and highly effective combo. The ideal sequence is to start by using her ultimate to stun the enemy and tether to them. Next, hit with Skill 1 to increase the damage dealt, and finish by using Skill 2 along with basic attacks to put even more pressure on the opponent. This combo shines especially in teamfights, as it prevents most heroes from using their escape abilities. On top of that, her second skill provides extra mobility and safety while you keep attacking the tethered target. Despite being very powerful, there will always be heroes who can easily escape from this sequence, so it's important to carefully analyze the situation before using it. Build and emblems. Obsidia's bone shards are her main source of damage throughout the match, and since they inherit part of on-hit effects, some items have perfect synergy with her mechanics. Since she doesn't benefit much from attack speed, the best boot option is Magic Boots, as their cooldown reduction provides great support for her kit. Items like Corrosion Scythe and Demon Hunter Sword work very well against more durable heroes. Hunter Strike not only provides penetration and cooldown reduction, but also extra mobility thanks to its movement bonus, which can be triggered with just 1 attack after reaching 4 stacks. To take advantage of the shard's critical damage, you can also go for a more traditional build, starting with Windtalker, Berserker's Fury, and Haas's Claws, which ensures a considerable increase in sustained damage. Malefic Gun is always an excellent item in any situation, so I recommend never leaving it out of your build. On the other hand, Sea Halberd stands out against more durable compositions or those with a lot of healing. Rose Gold, Meteor, and Wind of Nature can also be extremely decisive against certain lineups, especially when there are several heroes with high physical damage. Finally, Immortality is a great option to deal with more explosive compositions, as it can secure your survival in crucial moments. As for emblems, the Assassin emblem is the most recommended, as it compensates for Obsidia's weak early game and speeds up her progression. For talents, the best choices are Swift, Weapons Master, and Weakness Finder, which provide speed, better stat utilization, and extra control in exchange for consistent damage. These are some build options that work very well for beginners learning to play the hero. However, nothing stops you from adapting each item according to your playstyle and the match situation. Obsidia is a hero who relies heavily on the late game, so in the early stages it's not worth forcing direct confrontations with the enemy marksman. The chances of losing are very high. The safest approach is to use her first skill to poke the opponent from a distance, dealing damage safely. Her first skill is also essential for speeding up energy gain, since hitting enemies or even minions grants stacks much faster. As we saw at the beginning of the video, stacks obtained through abilities are tripled, which makes this skill one of the most important for the hero's growth during the match. Her ultimate can be a powerful weapon, but it can also become a weakness depending on the situation. Against high mobility heroes, it's extremely useful, but there are cases where the enemy can easily escape, or even turn the fight around and take you down without much effort. That's why it's crucial to use it strategically. Always prioritize using the ultimate against heroes who rely on dashes or other mobility skills to execute their plays. Moreover, Obsidia's combo not only neutralizes this type of enemy, but is also highly effective against heroes who need targeted abilities to deal damage. Knowing the right moment to cast her ultimate can be the decisive factor in a fight. And remember, maintaining good positioning is essential to ensure solid gameplay. Pushing recklessly and dying repeatedly will greatly delay your late game. And in her case, her performance relies entirely on that stage. Always be present in objective fights, especially the Lord. With 25 passive stacks, she can take it down easily in just a few seconds. If you choose to go for a critical damage build, avoid confronting high-resistance heroes such as tanks and some fighters. While you can deal massive damage to squishier targets, tanks have a significant advantage in these encounters, especially when using the Vengeance spell. That was the Obsidia tutorial. I hope it helped you better understand the hero's potential, and thank you to everyone who watched until the end.
If you enjoyed this video, leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on the notification bell so you don't miss the next ones. Thank you so much, and see you next time.